Hi guys, so you may or may not have heard of the common pre-screen. It is pretty new, but it is a very, very fantastic thing. It makes the whole audition process so much easier for people auditioning. The common pre-screen unifies the material you need, and instead of needing 15 different types of cuts for like 15 different types of songs, you need much less material, and it just makes it so much more manageable. And I wanted to quickly go over it because I haven't seen a single video on YouTube explaining it, and I know I was kind of confused at first, so I'm going to explain it. So with your pre-screens, you should try turning them in at about the end of October, which means you should be filming them at the middle of October. And I do have a video all about how to record your pre-screens and your dance pre-screens, and I talk a lot about the pre-screens, so definitely check those out because they're very helpful, and I'll leave them up here. So generally, you're going to turn in your pre-screens and you'll hear back either a few days to a few months after, and then they'll tell you if you pass the pre-screen, and then if you pass the pre-screen, then you can schedule an in-person audition. So now I'm going to go over the pre-screen options. There's option A and option B, and schools can choose between either one, and they have different requirements. So for songs, for both options, you are going to need 2 songs. One is going to have to be an up-tempo, and the other is going to have to be a ballad. Each song is between 60 to 90 seconds, so you won't need to think about how many bars of music you need, but usually about 32 bars is going to be about a minute to a minute and a half. And that time has to include your slate, so it can't go over 90 seconds with your slate because they won't accept it. And filming wise, you're going to have a 3/4 shot, which means the top of your head down to your knees. So I would recommend having just a little bit of space in between in case you move a little bit. So then for option A, one of your songs has to be a golden age song, so 1970 and before, and then the other has to be contemporary, so anything after 1970. But then option B is both of your songs are contemporary, so after 1970. And something I highly recommend once you have chosen your songs is to have people listen to them and make sure that they are not similar sounding in style and just feel, because you don't want your second song to sound like a continuation from your first song. You want them to sound different, and you want to show off your versatility as a singer. So talk to your voice coach, have your friends listen to the 2 song recordings and give their feedback on if they think they sound very similar or not. And do what you can, because my songs were not very contrasting at the beginning, and once I changed them, I think that made the world of difference for getting into schools. Okay, so for monologues, you're gonna have the same time constraint of 60 to 90 seconds, including your slate. And your monologues have to be from published plays. They cannot be from musicals, they cannot be from movies, and not from TV shows. For option A, you're going to need a contemporary monologue. Pretty much most monologues you find are gonna be contemporary, because contemporary is anything after 1900s for monologues. And these ones are filmed close up, so the top of your head down to your chest should be visible in the frame. And then option B, you're gonna need 2 monologues. So you're going to need a contemporary monologue, and then you're also gonna need a classical monologue, which is 1900 and before. Commonly Shakespeare is done, but if you're not comfortable with Shakespeare, then don't do Shakespeare. And most schools that you're going to apply to are probably gonna be option A for the monologues, but I would highly recommend finding a classical monologue, because most likely one of the schools you're going to apply to is going to be option B, and you're also going to need it probably for at least 1, probably more, in-person auditions, so you might as well find it now. As far as dance goes, there is no unified dance portion. They are working on that, so hopefully something will come out soon. So you will have to look at the school's requirements, but usually schools are gonna have you do a 30 to 60 second dance in the style that you're comfortable with. So something like jazz, modern, ballet, African hip hop, lyrical, contemporary, something like that. Usually they don't want tap dancing, but a lot of times schools are very restrictive of what types of dance they want. So when you are creating your dance, take all of the schools in mind and try and do something that works for every school, so you don't have to find more than one dance. And this isn't very common, but for some schools, they will give you a dance tutorial that they want you to learn. There's also a wildcard video, which is optional, but if you have time, highly, highly recommend it. It looks so great if you do one. And I will have a video coming out soon with ideas for that, so definitely subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when that comes out. Now, another thing that you have to figure out is which schools are option A and which are option B for monologues and songs. And thankfully, there is an entire list that I have linked in the description for you guys, and it gives every school. It's very helpful. And something I highly suggest is writing down all of your school's requirements for their pre-screens and what they want to see in person, because you want to stay organized and you don't want to get to an audition or realize at the last second that you need material that you don't have. And so there's really no reason not to do this. And I did create a Google spreadsheet where you can write down what songs you're singing, how you need to film them, and then also your monologues, if there's a wildcard video, if there's a dance video, if there's extra material, and tons of stuff like that. And then I also have a section for in-person auditions, and I just think it's very helpful. So 100% you should make a copy of this document, which I've linked in the description, and tailor it to your needs. And then I would also recommend going to format and then going to text wrapping and then hit wrap so that you can see all the text and it doesn't get hidden behind the other text. And this would be something great to print out just to have, because this is going to be a very important document to have. So that is all I have. Definitely check out my videos on recording your pre-screens and your dance pre-screens, because those are going to be very helpful. And if you liked this video or learned something new, hit the like button and subscribe, because I have so many videos coming out. And leave any questions you have or any video ideas that you want me to do, and have a wonderful day. Bye.